They say 3 only put a 6.
No, I cannot go. Yeah, I cannot go.
Hold it. No way.
Next up, buzz up. Yeah, Sunday, yeah, I walked in no legs. I'm motherfucking big now, baby, I ain't flexing. She gon' break my heart, I ain't flexing. But I'ma break her heart, cause I'm lexing. Yeah, lexing. She won't break my heart, no, I ain't flexing. But I broke her heart because I'm lexing. Yeah, dripping like I was a text.
Grand Rising, everybody. This is Dice Game G here on the We Are VishusTv. I'm coming back here with a special message. Like I said before, we going into right now a small depression. You know what I mean? So remember I said that a couple weeks ago. And if you don't believe me, look at China. Look at your predecessors. See what they going through. Ain't no coming back for China. China need a war. And before you say, oh, they're gonna be trying to war with us. First of all, you need some money before you start trying to go to war. You know what I mean? So you gotta fund this war. So we're not looking at that. But going back to this small depression like I was speaking about, you know what I'm saying? Now a lot of people start seeing now they cutting back them hours at that job you working, and you sitting back, what am I gonna do? Like I said, you know what I'm saying, the previous administration left us stuck, and then Donald Trump now signing all these executive orders. It takes one physical deal before money starts to really, you know what I'm saying, really process well. You know what I mean? So while we waiting for that, you know, them wheels to turn, that money start getting to spread, and then them executive orders start to spread, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to start cutting back on them spending habits. You know what I'm saying? You know, you stop eating out the bag. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay at home, cook. You know what I'm saying? Get that rice, get that peanut butter. You know what I'm saying? Because right now you're gonna be in that small depression. Trying to live up past your means. You know what I'm saying? That's that old conditioning. That's the conditioning that bait you with that money, bait you with that fake wealth that we create. I'm just saying. Now it's time to, you know what I'm saying, choose, live or die. Like I told you, at the end, you only got 2 choices. What you gonna do? Are you gonna ride with Satan, or you gonna be on the righteous chain with the Most High? Just saying. You know what I'm saying? I ain't here to play. I'm here to spread wisdom and plant the seeds. Because now, like I said, we in that small depression. I ain't trying to say the only thing Donald Trump is to say now. F that. Because once I told you once before, you know what I'm saying? I told you once before, you gotta use Donald Trump to be that tool of looking through, you know what I'm saying, the veil. Because now everything now is crashing, you know what I'm saying, and being exposed under his watch. You know what I'm saying? You gotta see what's out there, see what's been playing on us for a long time, and all that research. And we have the tools right now to, you know what I'm saying, really go into, you know what I'm saying, our freedom. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, I'm gonna come back later, and I'm gonna be talking about this too. Once more, pop on the live this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you share. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you come in with, you know what I'm saying, the tools to listen. You know what I'm saying? And go on do your research. Because I told you, you know what I'm saying, I'm a person that plants the seed. That is what it is. I don't go out just, you know what I'm saying, trying to let people go on my word. You gods and goddesses too. I love y'all.
I saw that Intel made a recent announcement that they were doing a reduction in force of about 20% of its workforce. Its workforce is 109,000 people, in-person staff. So that is roughly 21,000 jobs. I also saw that UPS plans to cut about 20,000 employees. I know this is kind of old news, but That's going to be one of the largest in U.S. history. So then I decided to hop over to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics to see where we're standing so far this year. It looks like 1.8 million people were laid off or discharged in February 2025 alone. That brings us to 3.5 million layoffs and discharges in 2025 so far. That's pretty big. So far, just January and February is what the data has been reported. Layoffs and discharges total 3.5 million, and that is 2.7% higher than the same period in 2024. In February 25, that data that I had given, so the 1.5 million, that looks like that stands for about 1.1% of all employed people. That's huge. So when I dig a little bit deeper, the layoff and discharge rate was highest in the professional services industry in February. Second to that was construction, and then information, leisure and hospitality, retail trade, transportation and utilities, manufacturing, wholesale trade, financial activities, education and health services, mining and logging, and then government. So again, a lot of us think that all of this is happening in the government sector right now, but it's not. It's happening a ton in the private and public sector as well. And so just something to think about. And if you're an employer and you're thinking about doing this, I come alongside organizations and help them determine who should be riffed and at what frequency, and make sure that it's set up appropriately so that you're legally protected and then employees that are impacted are taken care of. So reach out. I've got an HR firm, Salt and Light Advisors, and we're happy to help.
Yo, welcome everybody. This is Dice Game G coming back here for another commercial, another break, you know what I'm saying, another ad, you know what I'm saying. This is 2025. We doing it live, you know what I'm saying. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. We Are VishusTv. Subscribe to our Rumble channel. We Are VishusTv. Also, go to Big Shoot, Dice Game 615. We Are VishusTv. We done crossed 1,000 subscribers. Yes, we doing it live and lit in the 2025. Please show us some love. Me and Dickie Jr., we want to go on and live stream on, YouTube. We only got 36 subscribers. Please go to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button after you view one of them videos, or, you know what I'm saying, them shorts. I'm telling them shorts be live and lit. You know what I'm saying? We doing it big here, you know what I'm saying, on Raw Vicious Network. That's what we're gonna be changing to, and I hope I see and hear from everybody. Make sure you hit that comment. Please hit that comment. We want to hear from you. Please, you know what I'm saying, join us on Telegram as well as We Are VishusTv and Dickie and Dice Game Show. We doing it big, yo, you know what I'm saying, and get ready, all the truth is gonna be revealed.
Trust. I'm so turned up. Murfreesboro nigga, baddest grilla, earn bucks. I'm a gorilla, I kill you for my turn, cuz I hop up in that Chevy riding heavy burn.
Now back to our presentation.
Now to talk about this is former economic advisor under Donald Trump, Stephen Moore. Steve, look, if Trump secures a new fair deal with China, does this turn into a major political win? And that's a big if.
Not just a political win, but it would be a huge economic and financial win for the country as well. Trump will win. Yeah. There's no way that China can retaliate in a way that doesn't do much more damage to their own economy than to ours. Look, if you look at the financial markets, the net worth of American companies is multiple times higher than all the Chinese companies. So we have incredible leverage. They can't possibly get out of their economic, they're in a bit of a mini depression themselves. Nobody in the media seems to be following
Given the decline in stuff coming from China to the United States, we are starting to see where the cracks in the economy, where the layoffs might start. Early indications are that the port of LA, one of the major hubs for goods originating from China, is that they expect a 35% decline in cargo starting next week. Yes, folks, this is becoming real and becoming real very quickly. In fact, Torsten Slok, chief economist, is really painting a picture of where the economy will start breaking and where layoffs will show up first. Again, Torsten Slok is highlighting the layoffs will begin first and foremost in domestic freight. If you don't know what that means, think about trucks going to the loading docks, loading, and then driving the goods to the next location. Also, Torsten Slok is highlighting that the retail industry will start to see layoffs. Think about folks who don't have the inventory, can't get them, having to announce layoffs to just cover the bills. I really think the small business area, small business retailer, whatnot, actually, in very short order, could be facing bankruptcy concerns and potentially liquidation and store closures. If your business is reliant on imports from China and your margins are, I don't know, what do you want to think a gross margin is? Let's just say a gross margin is 25% and a net margin is 10%. You're done. You're out of business. You've got to close shop. You can't source stuff fast enough. You can't get the quality. And, we could really see small businesses start taking this on the chin as soon as June, right? June is 4 weeks away. So this is becoming real and becoming real very quickly. To that end, Paul Tudor Jones, one of the legendary Wall Street folks, and you don't know who Paul Tudor Jones is, do yourself a favor, put him in Wikipedia and read about him. Very quickly, Paul Tudor Jones really made his name in 1987. If you don't know what happened in 1987, again, go back and look at history. That was Black Monday. And Paul Tudor Jones not only called the crash, he profited from it. Paul Tudor Jones was set up for the right way on that very day where most people were losing 20, 25, 40% in individual stocks. And he called it. He set up the trades, and frankly, he won. So Paul Tudor Jones is also not normally a bear, right? There are people like Peter Schiff who have been calling crash every year for forever. Paul Tudor Jones is not one of them. In fact, I am not aware of Paul Tudor Jones stepping out on a limb and calling a crash except for 1987. He may have. Again, I don't study Wall Street as much, but I'm just trying to paint a picture that this guy is not, Chicken Little. He's mainly bullish, right? He's a stock guy. So what did Paul Tudor Jones say today? He said the stock market will hit new lows. New lows are coming. Even if Trump cuts China tariff to 50%. Right? Currently, I think the tariff, what is the tariff? 245%, something like that. Paul Tudor Jones goes on to say that the tariffs will be the largest tax increase since the 60s. Given this large tax increase, Paul Tudor Jones is saying growth will be subdued, -2 to 3%. This is really what I see coming. And again, folks, when you look at an economy that is a three-legged stool, I don't know how you don't get there also. Again, the three legs are government. And I don't think there's any question that government is spending less. There is private enterprise, small and big business. I don't think there's any question that most businesses are spending less. And then there's the biggest leg of the stool, which perhaps is the most uncertain today, and that is the consumer. I don't know how, Q2 is not negative, and maybe we actually get the recession call, because again, Q1 was -0.3%. Again, I would strongly suggest that you pay attention to Paul Tudor Jones. Certainly research him, make up your own mind. This is not, again, someone who calls crashes routine.
We told you that now people is starting to see it now. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say to everybody, thank y'all, especially all my Telegram listeners and followers, you know what I'm saying, members and people on YouTube, Vishu, and Rumble, and the locale channel. Make sure you follow us on TikTok. I'm on TikTok too at Dice Game VishusTv. But you'll see my ugly mug up there with, with the We Are VishusTv, you know what I'm saying, logo. But like I told you like 2 weeks ago, you know what I mean, that depression, we in a small depression. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, look at China. China is really, ain't no coming back. Like I said, it's all about war with China, because China gonna need a war to pull themselves out. But they did it to themselves. You know what I'm saying? With the Ponzi scheme they've been going on. And Xi Jinping, he's in trouble. Even his own military going against him. You know what I mean? So when we see our predecessor going through this, you're saying, believe me, it's a depression. And you see prices is going up and stuff like that. See, the deep state wanna scare everybody. Wanna say, well, Donald Trump, he's gonna crash us and stuff like this. You see how food prices done went up. Gas prices done went up and stuff like that. They trying to scare you because we are living on the tail end of the Biden administration, and that's what they left us. They left Donald Trump in a mess, left us in a mess. So, like I said, it take one physical year, you know what I'm saying? So all this money and everything start, moving, start rotating. And we also, Donald Trump done cut a deal with India. Right now, India is in war with Pakistan right now, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is time to take opportunities like India doing with China, because China, you know what I'm saying, crashing right now. India gonna be right behind them, picking up all their scraps, all the stuff they can't hold. They're gonna be picking it up, and Donald Trump don't work the deal out with them. So you know what I'm saying, we got over 15 countries now. Donald Trump jumped on the Trump train, jumped on our train. So now now we still trying to get Canada in, because they don't want to be no 51 states. So they're gonna have to do a deal. And that's what Xi Jinping should have done. He should have took that 10%, when it came up to 25%, and it would been good. They would been, but the greed, you know what I'm saying? And they trying to be the world dominant power, the superpower, you know what I mean? Like I said, they took all Donald Trump, not Donald Trump, but Joe Biden administration trying to flood all the money out of our population and put it to, other people's pockets. See, we was the number one target. I said, I told people years ago, we was the number one target to bring down, because they trying to have full control. They're trying to go over this new world order. But now Donald Trump done dismantled everything they was going into. You know what I mean? So, but I'm just saying too, Donald Trump is the one that shook up the house of cards, and now it must fall, because he know it must fall. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. They messed up the country too damn much. You know what I mean? And now, people seeing like, oh, well, it ain't, it's not what Donald Trump doing right now. Price is still going up and stuff. You know what I mean? But it's going to take some time for all this, the wheels get turned. You know what I mean? So he done put all these executive orders out. And I know he signed an executive order about, going down minimum wage, going up to $25 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Hourly work wages is going to be down to 32 hours. You know what I mean? And if we work overtime be over 32 hours. You know what I mean? So, this could be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, we need more time with our families. You know what I mean? So, or personal life. And that will be good, but we're going to see how this going to rotate. You know what I mean? So, I'm just saying, I'm looking forward to see how this can work. If it can work, we all got to come together. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not what Donald Trump doing. It's about us. It's about if we gonna make things work for us. You know what I'm saying? Instead of sitting around here trying to fight and mope and mope around and not hold accountability for yourself, and get your ass out there and work. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Get out there and work and take care of your family, take care of yourself. So right now, while we go to this little mini depression, because it can't be that long, you know what I mean? So but it's gonna be, at least 6 months before all this stuff start really, kicking in out of executive orders, and it was so needed. So I'm just saying, people, give it some time. When it start kicking in, we're gonna have an economic boom. And but you need to be saving some money. You know what I mean? You need to don't just get out there and start, living above your means. Now is the time. Now we need to start fresh over, start, trying to look for our generational wealth. And I'm talking about our peoples, us melanated people, us black people, of original indigenous people of this planet. You know what I mean? We need to start taking accountability for our actions. If we got all these skeletons in the closet, and it's gonna come out, so you need to, start to face it. You done did too much damage on this planet, so you need to start having accountability for your actions. If you've been working hard, you've been, doing what you gotta do, take care of your children and stuff like that, like more, you're gonna be rewarded, because the Most High sees what you do, your ancestor sees what you do, and that's what we in. That's what this fight is about. Our ancestors, they fought and spilled their blood on these lands. And they built this bit. So, we need to go on and finish what our ancestors started. Make sure we get what we deserve. So that's just real, because I told you so. We in, and people starting to feel it. They start feeling it, the hourly wage. They start feeling it in their pocket, and you don't have much saved up, or if you got anything saved up, because the previous administration, the deep state, was draining us dry. But now, it's time to live. It's time to, make it through this. I'm Dice Game G here on We Are #VishusTv. Make sure you like and share this long and wide. We done put common sense back where it need to be, and all these fuck people, they going down. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. We in the age of Aquarius, the age of the Enlightenment, the age of going back to the matriarch. You know what I mean? She holds the cards, Big Mama. I love y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment, because please, it helps the content creator. You know what I mean? I love y'all, and I'm out.